Okay, look at a few holiday snaps. This is me with the implant in place, and on the baseball cap are ultrasonic sensors. So this is like the sensors that the robots have. The output from the ultrasonic sensors was fed down onto my nervous system, so when an object came close, my brain was receiving an increased current pulse frequency. So essentially, as an object came close, bing, 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 pulses of current increased, and as an object went further away, so the pulses died down. So it was like an extra sense, an ultrasonic sense, and with a blindfold on, I was able to move around and detect objects pretty accurately how far they were away. I didn't know what they were, but I knew accurately how far away they were. My wife is with me today, and she's wearing some jewellery that a student at the Royal College of Art in London put together. The jewellery changes colour from red to blue, and we connected it to my nervous system. Now this is much better than buying your wife flowers or something like that. Now, one of the ways it could operate was that if I was nice and relaxed, so the jewellery was blue. This is picking signals from my nervous system via the implant. And when I got excited, so the jewellery flashed red. My wife works in a different place to me, so if you can imagine, she's in her office, the jewellery is nice and blue, and she's walking around. Okay, he's not doing anything he shouldn't. And suddenly the jewellery starts flashing red. What is he doing? And more importantly, who is he doing it with? Maybe not such a good idea. As was said in the introduction, this is a picture of me in Columbia University, New York. And what we did was put my nervous system live onto the internet. So the security we used was that we didn't tell people what we were doing. So if any hackers had been there, because my nervous system did have an IP address, so people could have sent signals down onto my nervous system, but they didn't know what the address was. So, but we linked via the internet my nervous system in New York with the robot hand in Reading, in the UK. So across the Atlantic Ocean, if you like, via the internet. I moved my hand in New York, and my brain signals also moved the robot hand in Reading. It mimicked my hand movement. The robot hand has fingertip sensors on it, and the output from those sensors was fed back across the internet to stimulate my nervous system. So as the hand, the robot hand, gripped an object, my brain was getting pulses of current that allowed me to know how much force the robot hand was applying. So it was not only having a hand replacement, as we saw Campbell Aird had before, but it was having a hand on another continent, as an example to what's possible. For me, the biggest possibility, if we upgrade, if we enhance, is improving what at the moment I see for humans, our communication. It really is pathetic. When we have complex thoughts and ideas and colours and pictures in our brains, and we try and communicate those, what we do is convert these complex signals into trivial coded messages. This is what speech is. It's a very slow, very error-prone message. Or even if we're sending emails, we're converting complex signals into mechanical movement. Wouldn't it be much better if we could just link our brains together and communicate directly? So particularly in the universities, when you teach students something one week, you teach them again the next week, the same thing, you teach them again the next week. When it comes to the exam, you still wouldn't have any of them got any idea what you've been talking about. Well, if your brain was connected to theirs, you don't need to worry. If you want to get an idea into their brain, There it is. So what we were trying to do as part of this experiment was the basics of that communication. My wife Irena had electrodes pushed into her nervous system, and we linked our nervous systems electrically, directly. So when she moved her hand, choop, 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 my brain received 3 pulses. Choop, choop, choop. And I knew that that's my wife communicating with me. So it was like a basic communication, like telegraphic communication, basic form of communication, just to start things off. You have to start somewhere. And clearly, where we're heading with this is not just nervous system to nervous system implants, is brain to brain implants. And I can see within the next decade, maybe within the next 6 or 7 years, we will have the first thought communication experiments. And then we can take it from there, not just telegraphic to start with, but much richer forms of communication. This is certainly where I'm heading. I don't want to be stuck as an ordinary human when we get to the singularity. I want to come out of it as an enhanced cyborg-style human with upgraded intelligence, etc. So thank you very much for listening.